Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. Very long overdue, haven't had a video up on this channel for a couple months now, not since the end of last year at least anyway. Something I plan on doing more of this year. I do enjoy making videos like these, and I look forward to, trying to come up with some new ideas and creating some interesting content for the rest of this year. Hopefully this can be the the year where I actually try and make a sort of presence online. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, in today's video, I want to talk about and do a review of a game-changing pedal, in my opinion, and that is this. This is the Darkglass B7K Ultra. Darkglass are a Finnish company who are known for creating bass distortion and preamp pedals. They also make compressors as well now, and also bass amps, the infamous microtubes series. So the B7K is a very unique drive preamp pedal, and it has a lot of features that can be very useful. So we're going to get into this right now. Let's go. Okay, so I have the pedal set up over here, ready for the demo. And for starts, we'll just run over key features of this pedal. So you've got a 9-volt DC power input. You've got your main input here, jack, TRS, and your output here. You then have an XLR direct output on the side to, run straight into an interface or straight into the back of an amp head or something like that. And then your ground lift is a little button just on this side. Now you have two pedals here to step on. You have 8 dials across the unit and 4 little switches that can be attenuated 3 different ways. So let's talk about what they all do. First of all, here you have the master. Now this is pretty self-explanatory. It is the master level for the entire pedal. Next over you have the blend knob. What this allows you to do is change the amount of driven signal that you have in your output. Next over from that we have the level. Now the level dial controls the overall level of the drive. So not the master volume, just the actual volume in dB of the drive signal. And just after that we have the drive knob, which controls how much drive you want the pedal to put out. So, all the way to the left, small amount of drive, all the way to the right, a nice amount of drive. We then come to the bottom row, which is our EQ, effectively. So you have bass, low mids, high mids, and treble. Pretty self-explanatory. You're able to sculpt the tone into something that you want to fit in a mix or a live scenario. Now, this is the bit I find very, very interesting and quite cool. Is these 4 little switches here. And now they all have unique jobs. So, the top 2 here are effectively to do with the bass and high end, and the bottom 2 are to do with the low and high mids. So, the first one here is called attack. And attack, you have 3 settings. In the first setting, which is up, is completely flat. The second setting, which is in the middle, is boosting the high end. And the third setting at the bottom is cutting the high end. On the grunt switch here, again 3 settings. In the first position at the top, we're boosting the low end. In the second position, we're cutting the low end. And in the third position, we're leaving everything flat. And then again, down at the bottom here, we have low mids and high mids. Now what you do here is you have 3 different frequency parameters that you can set the low or high mids to control. So in the first position for low mids, you have 500 Hz. In the second position for low mids, you have 1 kHz. And in the third position, you have 250 Hz. So what you're then able to do is select whichever frequency band you want, and that's what this low mid control is going to work on. And again, same with the high mids. In the first position, you have 1.5 kHz. The second position you have 3 kHz, and the fourth position is 750 Hz, and that's what your high mid control is going to control. Pretty much simple enough. And then you'll see here there is a distortion pedal and a bypass pedal. Now to activate the pedal completely, you have them both turned on, so you've got two blue lights. Now if you turn the distortion off and leave the bypass on, what you're effectively doing is using the pedal as a preamp. You're able to create some very nice tones with the EQs built in here. And turn the bypass off, the pedal is completely off. However, if you turn the distortion on, then the pedal's in full grind mode. So let's go and grab the bass and let's get set up. So we've got the bass here, we're ready to start doing this test. So I think the batteries might be starting to die in this thing. It's starting to clip on the low B slightly, even though the interface or the axe, none of those are clipping. So we're just going to have to deal with that for now. So let's just have a straightforward test of what the bass sounds like on its own. Okay, so I'm going to set everything on the pedal to noon, and I'm going to leave every single little one of these switches in the middle position, and let's have a listen how this sounds. Okay, so let's start by turning the master up a touch, turn the drive up to about 2-3ish, turn the level up to a 2-3ish, and the drive up to 3ish, and see what that does. So already a very grindy, aggressive tone just from turning up the 3 dials here. So let's go and find a nice balance on these here. Okay, so we've done some tweaking around here. We've got the master at about between 1 and 2. The blend is at about 1 o'clock, so it's slightly more towards the driven side. The level is about 2.5, and the drive is just past 3 o'clock, so we're getting a real driven tone out of this. Quite a lot of level with a relatively even blend of mixed signal. So now let's go ahead and have a look into the EQ side of things. So start by changing the low end. Almost sounds like a guitar with no bass. So let's go ahead and put some bass back in. Let's set the attack to flat. Boosting high end here. And cutting the low end. Let's boost some low end with the grunt switch here and see how this sounds. cut some low end. And leave the low end flat. Okay, so let's go ahead and boost some treble. Let's set the high end to be boosted. Okay, no, let's not. Let's leave the high end in flat. Let's have the low end boosted. Okay, now let's get into the low mids and the high mids. So let's boost the low mids briefly and see what happens when we sweep through. So first of all, we're set to 500 Hertz here. I'm just going to play with the low mids on 0 and sweep it up to the top. Okay, let's put it down to 1 kilohertz. Last but not least, 250 Hertz. Let's go back to 1 kilohertz. Let's leave that at 250 Hertz with a slight boost for now, and get into high mids. So first of all, we have 1.5 kilohertz, and let's do a sweep here. Really hear that top end start to come through in there now. Now let's go to 3 kilohertz. That's quite an aggressive sound on the top end there. You'd never want to use that. Well, you might do. And 750 Hertz. This is maybe not the best demo, but this really is just to show you how the pedal is affecting the bass tone here. So what I'm going to do now is quite simply set the pedal to my favourite settings, and from there we will put it in a mix. Okay, so this is my personal favourite tone. We've got the master just past noon, the blend about 1 o'clock, the level is just up past 2, and the drive is just past 3. The bass is being enhanced slightly, about 1 o'clock, mids about 2, high mids about 1, cutting the treble back to about 11, boosting the top end on the attack, cutting the low end on the grunt, and then we're boosting 250 Hertz and boosting 750 Hertz, and that gives us a tone a little bit like this. Obviously, the hotter you have the gain, staging and drive on the pedal, the more noise you're going to have coming through whatever rig you're using, so a noise gate is probably going to be wanted at some point. This has just been a relatively brief run through of the pedal. Nothing you know, playing is not ideal here. Again, I'm making most of this up on the spot, but it's just to kind of show you how the pedal can affect the bass tone. This pedal, I've found, other than a lot of distortions, gives you many more options for clarity within driven tones, and especially if you want that sort of punch to come through in a mix or in a live scenario, this pedal really does do some justice. Now, obviously, you decide for yourself. Personally, I love it. It might not be for you. There are probably other pedals out there, other Darkglass products that might potentially be more up your street. But if not, anyway, this is just a little insight into the pedal if you're interested. So now I'm just going to drop it in a small mix so you can hear how it sounds. So, cheers for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought of this video. Any feedback is always useful. So, cheers for watching, and I'll see you in a new video soon.